I'm going to do Graham Sutherland. Graham Sutherland. And this painter, this is a print, but the painter was made famous recently by The Crown because he's the artist who was shown in the series The Crown, painting Churchill. He did a picture of Churchill, for example, that he didn't like, and he put on a bonfire. And this character was a English painter from London who was famous for painting Pembrokeshire, which is Wales. And he started off with these abstract surrealist things, and later on he did religious things, he did tapestries, he did glass, he did printmaking, and he was well connected and popular, and he was in the press, and he was high profile. Like today, you've got Banksy, for example, and Hearst, high profile. He's one of those sort of level people, though his art was proper art, whereas I'm not sure I like personally the Damien Hirst stuff or the Banksy stuff. It's more of a product and more of a effect. So we go back to this artist. This print shows St Bride's Bay in Pembrokeshire, and it is printed on quite suitable paper because the actual finish really does look like a watercolour. The texture and the shine. I mean, the glass has got a shine, but the actual paper is really matte, but it's not fibrous. It is signed Sutherland 36, which is when the painting was done, and the print was done quite soon after the painting was done. On the back there is a very detailed self-dedication which tells you about the print, and it's not a limited edition print, it's just an ordinary print, and I think there probably were 2,000 or 3,000 printed, I'm guessing. And when the print was made, this dedication here, which is a facsimile copy, and the signature is a copy, it's all printed. This piece of paper was stuck to the top of the print as a title, so it's quite unusual. So just to recap, we have a lithograph, we have an ordinary print copying a print by Graham Sutherland in 1936 showing St Bride's Bay, which is a coastal part of Pembrokeshire, which is Wales. It's the Welsh equivalent of Cornwall, so it's not Cornish School or St Ives or any of those places, it's the next peninsula up in Britain, the Welsh southwest of Wales. And there is this description of how he came about to paint this picture in this way. So it's a neat little thing, it's a nice little thing, it's inexpensive. The frame is a Victorian frame, it's got old holes in it. It's an ordinary Victorian frame from about 1880, which has been, someone's cut up and used to make a frame for this. And we're selling this in England for someone who wants to buy something from Graham Sutherland. So just talking about the artist himself, he's famous for the Jesus tapestry in Coventry Cathedral, and Coventry Cathedral was bombed by the Germans and they burnt out, leaving the shell, and the people in Coventry decided to leave the shell and build a new cathedral next door. So if you go to Coventry now, you'll see a burnt out, bombed shell of a medieval church, cathedral, and next to it there is a 1940s I should say, 40s, 50s, 60s actually, cathedral, which is built in the same red sandstone as the cathedral, the original cathedral. And if it wasn't a church or holy, or if you didn't know it was built by these very important people, you would say it's an ugly building. I mean, I've been in it. I was in it when I was at school nearby in the 70s, and went in it when I was very young. And it's not a very nice church. It's huge, it's square, it's cold, it's drafty, it's echoey. And because it's a 50s-ish building, all of the lines are straight, and all the trim is machine cut. There's no workmanship in it at all. The only workmanship is perhaps the tapestry above the altar, but all the windows, all of the pillars, roof, brickwork, stonework, it's all machine cut. And there's no artistry, as I say, in it at all, so it's fake. But because it's a cathedral, because it's built by Basil Spence, who was a Scottish architect who went to live in Malta. Because Jacob Epstein put St Michael on the wall outside, and because Sutherland did the altar hanging, no one criticised it, but it's an ugly building, and you actually knew the family who built it. It's an ugly building. Okay, that's Coventry Cathedral. So the other things Sutherland did were, he was a war artist. He is becoming quite well known. His contemporaries were people like John Piper, who used a similar palette, and at a first glance it's difficult to tell the difference between some of these mid-20th century artists. They tended to follow each other, and again, you can once you analyse a Sutherland or a Piper, you can tell there is a difference. But there was a load of artists in the middle of the 1900s, around 1950, who had very similar work, rather like the Impressionists had very similar work, and they tended to sort of have the same sort of look. So go back to the print. It's for sale in England. It's small. It's neat. It's got the very nice dedication on the back. There's not a lot of Sutherland stuff around. There's quite a lot of limited edition prints, I suppose, but not that many. And when it comes to oils or other originals, they're really expensive. Okay, hope that hasn't been boring. Thank you.